Hi guys, Ian from footballboots.co.uk here. Today we're talking about the evoSPEED 1.4. I've got the regular 1.4s here. There's also the SL version, which you may have already seen our video and review of these on the channel. If you haven't already, go check it out. But today we're talking about the regular version. These are the lightweight ones. Okay, so these ones a lot heavier, and this is the regular version. Same colorway as the launch version you'll have seen of the evoSPEED SLs. Those are the camo ones. This is the launch colorway. I'm going to get into these a little bit more now. So Puma have kicked off this new evoSPEED with this really bright colorway. It's a classy lava blast white total eclipse, and that's what they also used on the launch evoSPEED SLs. It's got this Puma branding that's been moved to the forefoot here, and then you've still got that trademark form stripe across the side here. So it's got that classic Puma look. They've just moved a few of the elements around on it. So let's throw these on. As you can see, this is the AstroTurf version, the AG version on the sole there. And that's what we're using today on this 3G pitch. First impression, it's a narrow fit, nothing surprising for an evoSPEED. If you do have a wider foot, you probably want to be considering perhaps the evoPowers, or if you do want to get yourself a pair of evoSPEEDs, then seriously consider the leather version. You can get a leather SL version, which are going to have a lot more durability than the synthetic pair do. So that would be a great choice for you. It's a good looking boot. Now the upper of these, it's pretty soft, but it's not as soft as something like the King with that leather feel, you know. Not even really as soft perhaps as the original evoPowers. Kind of similar to the evoPower 1.2s. But overall, there's not really much of a change in these compared to other evoSPEED generations. Probably just a little bit thicker on the upper. Sizing wise, very similar. So if you've had a pair of evoSPEEDs before, consider going exactly the same with these again. Now the break-in process for these evoSPEEDs is very similar to previous generations, very easy. Now, so I was saying before, this is the AG version, suitable for these turf pitches, and it does have a slightly thicker sole than on the firm ground pair, so these just are taking a little bit longer to break in than I found on the firm ground version, but still pretty easy to break in. It's only going to take a couple of sessions really to get these going as you want them to. Upper is pretty soft and goes pretty well out of the box. So 205 grams is how much these are coming in at in the firm ground version. This AG version is a little bit heavier because of the sole that they use. It is a speed boot, it's the evoSPEED. In essence though, recently a lot of boots have been weighing that little bit heavier. Brands are going for that little bit of extra comfort rather than the paper thin versions. If you do want something really super lightweight, then you're going to be considering the SLs, but you've got to take into account the durability. So the evoSPEED has used a two-piece upper for this overall lightweight and comfortable feel. It, as I was saying before, is very soft, and it's going to bring your foot nice and close to the ball, and it's got this webbing pattern going on with it. You can see it on the tongue here that there's this web underneath, and that's part of the layering that they're doing here. Inside it's got this nylon lining, which is pretty nice, and it gives you a kind of seamless fit, and it's pretty comfortable inside with your foot. So featured through the entirety of the evoSPEED 1.4 is the SPEEDFRAME. This is something that they've run all the way through, and it locks into the laces here, so it's all connected. Concept being is when you tighten the laces, when you pull those tight, then it's wrapping and locking your foot into this boot. It runs all the way through the boot, so it's here, and this is where they got the branding and the logo for it. But in essence, it runs all the way through here as well. And this is where it's actually doing things, is where it connects into the laces and around the rear part of the boot up to here. At the front, it's more of a design and something for adding that little bit of control. If you think about like an Opus or the Ace, where they've got those kind of dips in the boot for controlling the ball, then that's like an extra thing that you're getting. It's not performing in the wrap in this area. This area is more about where the ball impacts. This is more about how your foot locks into this boot, and it gives you that kind of extra agility, and it gives you a nice lightweight lockdown onto your foot. In essence though, isn't really a huge amount to it. It's not going to give you something like you get with Flywire or Brio cables or something like that on the Nike boots. It's nowhere near as effective as that. It's just this little thing underneath, and so personally I don't find it as useful as something that you would find on the speed boots from the Nike range. So you can probably just about make out here Griptex. Now this is something that Puma have added to the upper of the boot to give you a more consistent touch. You're going to be thinking ACC from Nike or Adidas's new NSG non-stop grip. It's just a different application that they've got on the upper to aid you in wet conditions. To be honest, it's more of a marketing thing than it's going to give you any real discernible difference in control in wet or dry conditions. It's just an extra thing that they've added on there. I can't and don't really feel like it makes a huge amount of difference to wearing these on your game. So look at this sole. This is the AG sole. So we've got a lot of these conical studs all the way across here, and then at the rear here we've got two straight blades, another couple of stabilizing blades here and conical ones here. This is different than you'll see on the sole of the firm ground version of the evoSPEED 1.4s. They're designed for kind of hard ground. These are specifically designed for turns and movements on Astro pitches, 3G pitches, and that's why you need a lot more of the conical studs. And then these are for the stability. It's very different than what you see that they used on the SL, which has got this cool 3 stud combination at the back, and then at the front it's set up like this. One thing you will notice is that it does say SPEEDTRACK here, but it's interesting that this isn't the same as the SPEEDTRACK that you'll see on the regular 1.4s that runs through the middle, and that SPEEDTRACK itself has been used on the 1.2s and the 1.3s, and it is used on the 1.4s again. So if you're going to get the regular version of these, you're not going to be finding anything new about them that wasn't already on previous generations. On here, it's a little bit strange. It has almost like a split toe type thing going on here. When you run on them though, it's got such a thick layer underneath this. So a lot of boots you kind of have, you go underneath the sock liner and then it's very thin onto the sole. This one you're going to feel they're very comfortable because they've got quite a thick cardboard layer above this. But it does add to the weight of the boots, and it does make them feel just a little bit heavy in comparison to some of the other options that are out there. So protection wise, actually a little bit surprising. It's a relatively thick upper on the 1.4. It's not the same as the SLs, and that means that you do get a bit more protection and a bit more thickness in these than you perhaps would think with a speed boot. Doesn't feel too bad, and actually wearing them you do feel like you're going to get reasonable protection. Only issue is the tongue itself. That doesn't have any padding or anything in it, so if you were to get a stud in somewhere around here, it's definitely going to hurt a lot more, but not as much as up in the upper here where it is that little bit thicker. Thinking about durability wise, these are the AG ones. If you're going to use them on Astro pitches, artificial grass, they are going to last you a long time. They're very solid, they're well looked after, they're well made, and I do think that they should last you a long time if you do decide to use these on the pitch that they're designed for. So overall verdict on the evoSPEED 1.4, I actually think that they're a very solid choice for you. If you're not going to go out and get the SLs, then they're pretty comfortable and they're going to do a really good job for most footballers. They've got that relatively thick upper for a speed boot. They're very comfortable, and those are all really good things. They look like the versions that you see on the pitch worn by the professionals, but they're going to give you a lot of things that are going to suit kind of Sunday league or amateur football. So they are a good choice for that. But I would say that not a huge amount has changed with these if you think about them in comparison to previous generations. evoSPEEDs really haven't been changing a huge amount over the 1.2s, 1.3s, and now we're onto the 1.4s. Yes, there's these little changes here and there, but they're kind of cosmetic more than functional, not adding a huge amount to them. Got the aesthetics of the design, you've moved the PUMA logo around and all these kind of things. It's a pretty decent looking colorway. They are going to be available in blue very soon as well, if not already. Overall, I think it's a pretty decent option. Most of you aren't going to go out and get the evoSPEED SL. They're not going to last you very long. So if you do want a pair of PUMA boots, then these are definitely a good one to consider. You might go get the firm ground versions, or as I say, if you're on the artificial grass, then go grab these ones. There is a good option for you. Right guys, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you're already subscribed to the channel. If you are, thank you very much. We appreciate it. If you're not, go hit subscribe right now, because we've got lots more videos coming soon. I'm going to go enjoy some more football. You do the same.